Hello, and welcome to the Thrive for Life Facebook Live. I'm your host, Dr. Alicia Shelley, and I'm so excited to be coming to you tonight to talk a little bit about the 5 secrets of crushing your exercise regimen. I know you're like, this is not that exciting, but it is because exercise is so important in your weight loss journey, and sometimes you just have to get started. So I'm so excited to be able to talk to you about that today. If this is your first time hearing or watching this or looking at the replay, let me just introduce myself. My name is Dr. Alicia Shelley. I'm a board certified internal medicine, obesity medicine physician outside of Atlanta. And I'm also the host of the podcast Back on Track, Overcoming Weight Regain. So if you want some more inspiration, feel free to go to any place you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, wherever it is, and check out the Back on Track Overcoming Weight Regain podcast. You actually may get a lot of information, tools to help you with your weight loss journey. Also, and if you wouldn't mind, reviews help. So if you can give me a review, I'd be more than grateful. And so my whole premise is I try to help busy people with implementing healthy habits in your lifestyles. So the what I talk about is just how can you implement it? How can we make this real? Because a lot of times we have these different expectations on what should happen. We should eat right all the time, we should exercise all the time. But some days it's just difficult. Either we have responsibilities at home, taking care of our children, taking care of our spouse, or we may be having work responsibilities that make it so difficult to start healthy habits. Well, I'm here for you. I totally understand. I'm a full-time physician, so I understand what it is to have time crunch, and so I'm here to help you with kind of starting off strong and implementing healthy habits. Well, without further ado, let's get started and talk about secret number one, which is there are several health benefits besides weight loss when you exercise. So, a lot of times people think of exercise as just a way of losing weight, but it actually can benefit you health wise. So, let's talk about it. What happens when your body works out? Well, number one, you actually increase your endorphins. Your brain increases your endorphins. Now, endorphins is a hormone that helps you feel happy. So if you're feeling a little bit sad, you're feeling a little bit depressed, a little bit stressed out, go for a walk. Go for a walk. It'll help alleviate that stress. It'll help increase the endorphins in your body. Also, exercising helps bring stronger muscles. Now, I know we were talking about other things other than weight loss, but the more you tone, the more muscles you have, that actually helps with bone health. It helps to strengthen your bones when your muscles are toned. Also, muscles burn more calories than fat. So you're burning more calories at rest than somebody else who has less muscles. So definitely increases your muscles. Number one, the other thing is it also increases your heart. It makes you have a stronger heart. When you're exercising, your heart asks to actually not only pumps a little bit more, but it helps strengthens the heart. So it has muscles increases. When we look at like a class A athlete like Lance Armstrong, his heart actually at rest beats at a slower beat than probably the rest of us. Why? Because he's so fit, or he was so fit. I haven't seen him recently, but most athletes, their heart rate is a lot lower because their heart doesn't need to pump that blood out so much because it's stronger. It's muscle. The muscles has increased, so it can pump out the blood faster and not as much as maybe the average person who doesn't exercise. So the other thing with exercise, it helps decrease your sugar level. Yes, did you know that? It increases your sugar level by increasing the insulin that's circulating in the blood. And that insulin causes your sugar to be utilized by the different organs, the different cells for energy, which decreases your level. So, exercise is important. So, let's talk about some other benefits. Like I said, it improves your cardiovascular function, it regulates your sugar or blood glucose levels, it actually improves your cholesterol, causes you to be more independent because you're moving around more. You don't need a cane, you don't need a walker as much. It also can be a place for socialization. You may meet people when you exercise. You have conversations with people you probably never would actually talk to had you not been exercising. Also, it increases your sexual function and increases your good cholesterol. So it's actually very helpful. It also reduces your blood pressure, reduces mortality rates, reduces the amount of medications you have to take, especially if it's due for blood pressure and your diabetes. These things can be actually affected by your exercise. So the more you exercise, the less blood pressure you need, medications you need, or diabetes medication. Also decreases your pain, which you may think is counterintuitive, especially if you're like, oh, I have this knee pain, oh, I have this back pain, I can't exercise. I hear that a lot. But when you do exercise, and we'll talk about what to do when you have these different ailments, it actually strengthens your quads, which then strengthens your knees. So it is important to kind of get the exercise in, the right kind of exercise that you can do with your different ailments, and also can reduce depression as well. So, secret number two, if you're trying to lose weight, you need more than 150 minutes per week. Now, for general, and let's look at how much exercise you do need. So, for general health benefit, it is recommended that you exercise 150 minutes per week, which comes out to 30 minutes 5 days out the week, with strength training at least 2 times during that week. That's just for general health. That's just general health. But if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to prevent weight regain, which is basically losing weight, then gaining it back, then you need to up the ante and get up to between 200 and 300 minutes per week. And I know that's a lot, which adds up to maybe 6 hour, 40 to 60 minutes per week, 40 to 60 minutes per day, 5 days out the week. Now, you may be like, I don't have 5 days out the week. Well, that's okay. Here's what you can do. You can exercise more on the weekends, on the days you have off, and then maybe have one day during the week when you're, to get some exercise in. So there's ways that you can actually balance this out. You just have to think outside the box, outside the box. Secret number three, the best physical activities to lose weight are the ones that you stick to. Now, a lot of times when I talk to patients, they'll tell me that, yes, I started exercising and then I fell off. And I was like, well, what were you doing? It's like, oh, I was doing like this. I was exercising 2 hours a day, going to the gym. And I'm like, but I just couldn't keep it up. But imagine had they like took their time and was just exercising 30 minutes to 60 minutes, 5 days out the week, they would be able to maintain their exercise. Why? Because they're able to stick to it. They can implement it better in their lifestyle. So, trying to find physical activities that you can actually stick to is going to be important. Also, ones that you don't get bored. So, my recommendation is finding something you enjoy doing, whether it's walking, whether it's water aerobics, swimming, doing gym work, doing group activities, getting on your Peloton or stationary bike, whatever it is that you like to do, do it. I have patients who will get on YouTube, have like a little dance workout, and they'll just be dancing. And before you know it, they meet their 30 minutes or they met their 60 minutes and they feel good. I had one lady who lost 56 pounds just by doing chair exercises and watching what she ate. So you can do this. You can do this. It's just finding what works for you. What can you stick to? If you're finding that, oh, I have to take the kids to baseball practice or, oh, I have to take the kids to football practice, guess what? While they're at practice, you can be walking the field and you can get another parent or another person to walk with you and you guys can have a whole conversation while walking. So finding ways, thinking outside the box, finding things that you like to do is going to be extremely important because then you'll stick to it. You really will stick to it. Secret number four, the ideal heart rate is 50 to 85% of your maximum heart rate. And the reason why this is important because you want to know how well your exercise is. And so sometimes you can be walking, but it can be very slow, and you're not even creating a sweat, or you're not even actually your heart rate's not going up. So it's important to kind of know where your heart rate is and whether you're actually doing a good job. Now, it is recommended to do moderate aerobic activity. And a moderate aerobic activity is when your heart rate is 50 to 85% of the maximum heart rate. So let's talk about how do we calculate maximum heart rate. So the maximum heart rate is basically 220 subtract your age. If your age is 50, then your maximum heart rate is 170. Now, 50% is 85 and 85% is 145. So when you're exercising, your heart rate should be between 85 and 145. And if you're in between there, then you're doing well. And you know, hey, I'm working, my heart rate's going up. This is good. Now, last but not least, secret number 5. Just because you have a physical limitation does not mean you can't exercise. I have a lot of patients that come into my office and they're like, oh, I don't exercise because my knees hurt. Oh, I don't exercise because my back hurt. Now, these are actually real ailments that people suffer with. However, just because they're there doesn't mean you can't do something else. Doesn't mean you can't try resistance bands. You can't try maybe more chair exercises. Unless you're completely paralyzed, then yeah, maybe you can't exercise. But for the rest of us, we can exercise. And I want you to focus on exercises that are low impact exercises, like chair exercises, walking, resistance bands, swimming. These are things you can do at home or at the gym or at the pool where you can still put less pressure on your knees or your back or whatever your physical ailment is while still moving, still moving. So definitely check that out. And like I said, I had a patient, she was just doing chair exercises 1 hour out the day and she lost 56 pounds. And she had knee problems. So you can do it. Now, what to do if you have physical limitations? Focus on what you can do instead of what you can't do. A lot of people, when they have different ailments, they're like, well, I can't do this. I can't do that. Well, focus on what can you do. Find alternatives. Have a plan A, plan B, plan C. If you're having a flare of pain, then maybe you can't exercise today, and that's okay. But you can do it tomorrow when the pain gets better. So, finding alternatives that you can do to exercise, and then also choosing low impact exercises that put less pressure on your physical ailments or physical limitations. Because I like you, I am going to give you some bonus tips for exercise today so you can take this home to the bank. So, first tip, stretch before you start and when you finish. It surprises me so much when I talk to patients and they're like, I don't know why I'm so stiff and I'm so sore. And I'm like, well, did you stretch before you started? No. I'm like, ma'am, you need to stretch before you started. Warm up your muscles, warm up your joints so you're ready to keep going. And then once you're done, stretch it out again. I know being since I am training for an Ironman, I tend to have the tightest hamstrings. And so I have to really, really stretch it out so that so it's not as tight and then I can actually move and exercise more. So it's important to stretch. Next thing, have nutrients available. If you're exercising for more than 30 minutes, you need to have some nutrients available. When I run, when I do my half marathons, or even if I do less than that distance, I have nutrients available. The reason being is because I've had times where I have cramped up during a race because I didn't have the proper salt tablets that would help me replete what I was losing. Because when you're exercising, you're losing all that sweat. You're losing all of that extra sweat, extra water, extra sodium. So you need to be able to replete yourself, especially if you're exercising for more than 30 minutes. So having nutrients available to help with giving you some energy, keeping you going is important. Next, make sure you have water available. And you may think, well, of course I'd have water available, but there's many people who will work out with no water. And like I said, if you're losing a lot of sweat, if you're sweating, then you need to have water available so that you can replete yourself. Next, make sure you have the right gear to exercise. Some of us, I remember I had these, I won't say the name of the shoes, but I had a particular brand of shoes and it was causing me to have plantar fasciitis when I would exercise. And so I had to switch to a different pair of shoe and it was perfect. So sometimes having that right gear, it may be trial and error what works for you, but just keeping an open mind and making sure you have your exercise pants, your shoes. The one tip I'll give you is that let's say if you're trying to try to exercise, make sure you have your clothes and everything ready for you at the door so that you don't have to worry about it. You can just grab and go exercise, no excuses. I don't know about you. If I don't bring my clothes to work, and I have to go home to change, I'm not exercising. There's something about going home where I'm in my mind, I'm going home. So I got to have my exercise clothes with me so I can just go and exercise. Number two, tips for exercise. Make sure you have fun while exercising. I had one patient tell me, well, exercise is not fun. I'm like, but it can be if you find ways that make it fun, ways that make you want to actually exercise. Is one thing. You may say, hey, I feel happy when I exercise with my wife, or I may feel happy when I exercise with a good friend. We can talk. Then keep doing that because sometimes you just need an accountability partner or you just need something that's taking your mind off of it. During my Ironman training, I realized that I do not like to swim. I mean, swimming's okay. I just don't like to swim back and forth in the pool. I get bored. So I got some headsets and it allowed me to be able to listen to music while I swam. And did you know I swam faster? Why? Because I'm not bored and looking at people and turning my neck to be like, oh, what are they doing? Because I was so bored. So find ways to make exercise fun. And then let's think about how do you have fun while exercising. Number one, work out with a good buddy. Number two, use music. Number three, try something different. You can use YouTube, dance, workouts. You can use, they have all these different apps with different exercise programs that you can try. So just trying something different. You may be surprised how much fun you start to have. So, in conclusion, we talked about the 5 secrets on how to crush your exercise. I hope this helps. But I would be remiss if I did not mention how do you plan to implement this in your lifestyle. And my suggestion for you is take one goal and start with that. Whatever that goal is, start with it, hit it strong, and keep going. And then once you complete that one goal, have a second goal and just keep going. A lot of times in our minds, we think, oh, we have to do everything all at once. No, we don't. Start small and gradually build up. So, a couple of things, a couple of tips. Number one, choose one goal that you want to focus on, schedule that goal in your daily schedule, and then think about what challenges you may face and then plan ways to overcome it. Simple as pie. Well, I'm your host, Dr. Shelley, and I'm so glad to have you listen to this Facebook Live. Also, I have a free resource for you, which is the 5 secrets to begin your weight loss journey. And you can go to drshellymd.ck.page/begin to receive your 5 secrets to beginning your weight loss PDF. And then also sign up for our weekly newsletter where every week I'm giving you tips on how you can be better and how you can help with your exercise. Well, thank you again for watching. If this is a replay, put #replay in the comments. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to look at them and happy to answer you back. All right. Until next time. Bye.